Higgins, you may now pour me a glass of champagne.
Yes, sir. I'll open the bottle. Here you are, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you, Higgins. And now for a little victory celebration. In 3 minutes more by that clock, I'll be richer by 20,000 pounds. Today is December 21st, 1872. It is precisely 3 minutes to 9, and unless Mr. Phileas Fogg arrives by the time the hand of that clock reaches 9 itself, he has lost his bet. I must admit that I admire Fogg's daring. But really, Higgins, to attempt to travel around the world in only 80 days. Oh, who could resist betting a man on that? And now the 80 days are up. In exactly 1 minute, I'll be the winner of 20,000 pounds. Higgins, the door. No. It couldn't be.
Good evening, Stuart. Phileas Fogg at your service.
Fogg? But you didn't finish the trip. You didn't make it around the world.
Ah, but Stuart, I did. Look at your clock. I've made it to the very minute. It's just 9.
Incredible.
Yes, Stuart, incredible but true. But please, may I introduce my companions? This lovely lady is the Princess Aouda of Bundelkhand, who joined us in India.
I am honored, Your Highness.
Phileas has told me much of you and your wager, Mr. Stewart.
And this gentleman is Inspector Fix, a detective from Scotland Yard. He's been more or less with us from Suez onto here.
Welcome, Inspector.
Honored to meet you, sir.
And finally, Stuart, Monsieur Jean Passepartout, who took the whole journey with me.
Of course. Welcome home, Passepartout.
Merci, monsieur.
Oh, please. The surprise of all this, I'm forgetting that I'm your host. Please, Your Highness. Gentlemen, come in. Higgins, bring more glasses for the champagne. The victory, it seems, is that of Mr. Fogg.
Yes, sir.
The money, Stuart, our wager stake of 20,000.
Now, I have it here in the house.
Good, sir. Then you may present the Princess Aouda with 10,000.
What?
Oh, Phileas.
It will serve as one of my wedding gifts to her.
Wedding? Fogg,
And the other 10,000, please, will go to Passepartout.
Oh, Monsieur Fogg, I did not expect...
Passepartout, you have been more than just a good servant. You've been a faithful friend. You deserve the money. And as to you, Mr. Fix, not a penny.
I should think not, sir. I almost did make you lose your bet a dozen times or more, didn't I?
Sounds like there's a great deal more to this whole thing than meets the eye. Fogg, the money is willingly and happily mine to the Princess and Passepartout. But the story of your journey, I claim the loser's right. Before I pay my debt, I must hear how you did manage to travel around the world in 80 days.
Oh, certainly, Stuart. Here's Higgins with the champagne. May I give you a toast? To Princess Aouda, my future bride.
The princess.
The princess.
The princess.
Thank you.
Well, Stuart, for the sake of Inspector Fix, who still has not heard the beginning of the tale properly, will you recall for him the circumstances under which we made our bet?
Well, certainly. We were at our club, reading our newspapers after luncheon. I was reading about a spectacular robbery at the Bank of England. I commented to Fogg about it. I say, Fogg, that big bank robbery 2 days ago, did you notice what the Times wrote of the thief?
You mean that he seems to be no common thief, but a gentleman?
Yes, and Scotland Yard thinks he's already out of the country. Detectives have been sent as far as Suez and New York. The Yard states that no country will be safe for him. I wish that I could believe that. But the world is a very large place.
It was once.
What do you mean by once? Has the world grown smaller?
Yes, and it continues to every year. A man can go around the world 10 times more quickly today than he could 100 years ago.
Now, really? Because a man can travel around the world in 3 months.
No, Stuart, in 80 days.
What?
Look here in the Times. Only 80 days now, that new section between Colby and Allahabad has been opened on the Great Indian Peninsula Railway. This advertisement estimates the trip as follows. From London to Suez, via Brindisi by rail and steamers, 7 days. Suez to Bombay by steamer, 13 days. Bombay to Calcutta by rail, 3 days. Calcutta to Hong Kong by steamer, 13 days. Hong Kong to Yokohama by steamer, 6 days. Yokohama to San Francisco by steamer, 22 days. San Francisco to New York by rail, 7 days. New York to London by steamer and rail, 9 days. Total, 80 days.
Let me see. Total 80 days. Oh, but that estimate doesn't take into account bad weather, contrary winds, railway delays, and so on. I'd like to see you do it.
Would you really?
Yes.
How about at your expense, Stuart?
If I thought you were serious, I'd put up the money and top it with a healthy bet.
Well, how healthy?
Oh, come now, Fogg. Are you joking?
Not at all, Stuart. I've been a bit bored with London lately. A trip around the world might just do me right at the moment. What would you say to a wager of £20,000?
But you are serious, aren't you? All right. Why not? The odds are heavily on my side.
Shall we shake hands on it?
Well,
20,000, agreed? Well then, the night express train for Dover leaves at 9. I shall be on that. Today is October 2nd. I shall thus be back in London on December 21st at precisely 9 p.m. Shall we meet then at your home?
Fogg, this is the wildest adventure you've ever undertaken.
Yes, it is, isn't it? But, Stuart, I must be on my way. My servant and I will have 100 things to do by train time. The first leg of our trip was uneventful. We reached Suez on schedule in exactly 7 days. But that's where our troubles began. There, the good detective, Mr. Fix, picked up our trail.
It picked up your trail?
Yes, but, Fix, why don't you tell about that?
Yes, sir. You see, Mr. Stewart, the yard had sent me to Suez to watch for that thief who'd robbed the Bank of England 2 days before you and Mr. Fogg made your bet. I spotted Mr. Fogg as he was booking passage on a steamer for Bombay. He was carrying a valise, and when he took money for the tickets from the bag, I was standing nearby. I saw the bag was filled with heavens knows how many pounds.
I always kept the valise with me and full of cash to pay our expenses as we went.
Well, at the sight of so much cash, and considering it was thought the thief was a gentleman, it seemed to add up that Fogg was the man I was looking for. I cabled London immediately for a warrant to arrest him. I knew it would take time to get one, so I asked to be sent ahead to Bombay. Then I booked passage on the same ship as Fogg. We arrived in Bombay 2 full days ahead of schedule, 11 days instead of 13. And that was Mr. Fogg's doing. He kept tipping the members of the crew who fired the boilers of the ship with large sums of money to keep heavy steam up all the way. It really looked like Mr. Fogg was a desperado, frantically fleeing from the law. Well, when we reached Bombay, my warrant hadn't arrived. All I could do was to keep Fogg under surveillance. I trailed him to the railway station. He had sent Passepartout on some errands, and Passepartout had not arrived at the train. Fogg was worried. Then, just in time, Passepartout ran up to him, looking all rumpled and like he'd been in a fight.
Passepartout, what kept you? Wait, your clothes, that bruise?
Oh, some men, sir. They beat me up. I saw a temple. One of those Hindu places. Oh, it looked beautiful, so I thought I'd see inside. But I did not remove my shoes. Now I know, but I did not know then that it is a sacrilege to wear shoes in a temple. Suddenly, I was knocked to the floor. It was 3 priests. They began hitting me with sticks, and I pushed one priest off his feet, and when the others went to his aid, I ran out of that place as fast as I could.
I hope this will not happen again. We could get into serious trouble over an incident like that.
No, sir, it won't. I'm sorry.
Well, at least you're all right. But I'm afraid that left eye of yours is going to blacken up. That's the signal to board the train. Come along.
Oui, monsieur.
Well, Mr. Stewart, the incident with the priest had given me something I needed. An offense punishable by law had been committed on Indian soil. If I could get evidence against Passepartout from the priest and then get to Calcutta before Fogg left there, I could nab them and delay for time till my arrest warrant got to me from London.
And you almost did fix. But that's getting ahead of the tale.
Fogg, this tale is getting involved.
But you'll see that things get more involved. The train trip went well for a little over a day. Passepartout and I met a most distinguished fellow traveler, General Sir Francis Cromarty. I say, Sir Francis, they're out the window to the north.
Yes, Fogg. The Valley of Malagam. Beautiful country if you have a taste for the twisted, mysterious beauty of wild and vicious jungles. Not too many years back, we English almost could not have traveled through here at all. Here was located one of the chief centers of those bandits known as the Tug, or assassins, the stranglers, ruffians and murderers, united by a secret religious bond, who strangled and robbed victims of every age and rank in honor of Kali, the native goddess of death.
Has not the government stamped out these stranglers?
Her Majesty's government has done wonders in these parts. In these past 10 years, toward that end. But some of the Thuggee still exist and pursue the exercise of their horrible rites. Up here in Malagam and Bundelkhand and Colby, British control is still light. Most of the princely rulers still hold almost absolute power under treaties with England. This is still the old India up here. For example, you'll find that even some of the well-educated, the rich ruling class, still hold superstitiously to such primitive customs as suttee.
Suttee?
Yes, Fogg. Suttee is an ancient religious custom in which a woman is burned alive on the funeral pyre of her husband if she survives him.
Burned alive?
Yes.
But does she do it willingly?
Oh, sometimes out of sheer religious mania, the victim joins the body of her husband as he is cremated, joins him in a fiery death. But more often, the woman is unwilling. Fanatic priests will drug the victim. Oh, poor devils. At least then they do not feel the fire as it consumes them.
All the passengers prepare to leave train. The last stop, Colby.
What? Conductor, here. What does this mean?
All passengers must get off next stop. End of line.
But that stop is Colby. We are destined for Allahabad.
The track is only finished as far as Colby stop.
What? But we were sold tickets to Allahabad.
And the papers advertised the opening of the track to Allahabad.
They might have issued you ticket and advertise it, but track is not ready. Last stop is still Colby.
This is outrageous. This line was always notorious for inefficiency. I shall write to the Viceroy himself about such gross misrepresentation. Allahabad is 50 miles away.
Sorry, sir, but that is the state of things. But please excuse me, I have other cars to warn. All passengers prepare to leave the train.
This delay will put a nasty bug in your schedule, won't it, Fogg?
It is a blow, I must say. But I still have the advantage of the 2 days I gained between Suez and Bombay. If I can get transportation from Colby to Allahabad...
But you don't know Colby. It's just a primitive village. The only transportation around here is with carts pulled by water buffalo or by elephant.
Elephant? Then we'll seek out an elephant.
What?
I must get on. You, of course, will join Passepartout and myself.
Fogg, you are a determined man. Yes, I'll join you, and it will be my honor, sir. Elephant. Well, Fogg, I think it's lucky you have those 2 extra days in your plan.
Look at him, Sir Francis. Our elephant. and atop him the Aouda, which will carry us to Allahabad. A grand beast, isn't it?
Yes, Fogg, but you paid £2,000 for him. Exorbitant.
Exorbitant, perhaps, to an ordinary man, but not to a man with a £20,000 wager at stake. The former owner of this beast must have exercised all the native cunning of the East in sensing my desperate need. He bargained me into a corner within minutes.
Oh, Monsieur Fogg, the native guide who drives the elephant is coming.
Ah, by his dress he's a Parsee. Most Parsees are fine men, Fogg.
I'm at your service, Sahibs. My name is Gopal.
Good, Gopal. Your utmost haste in getting us to Allahabad is needed. You will be rewarded for speed and well.
I know a special path in the jungle, Sahibs. You will please to climb into the Aouda. The elephant is named Kuani. Kuani, kneel. Kneel. There, Sahibs. Please to climb into the Aouda.
We're making good time, Fogg. 4 hours on the way. Our good Gopal was wise to take us by this path.
Yes, Sir Francis, he seems a good man.
Then we still might keep our schedule, monsieur?
Hush. Hush, Sahibs. Listen. A holy procession of the Brahmins coming this way. Oh, we must not be seen by them. The music they play, it is for Suti.
Suti, the sacrificial cremation you told me of, Sir Francis.
Yes, Fogg. This could be dangerous.
No, Sahib, it is safe. We are far enough hidden in this place. The procession will not see us as they pass, and their noise will cover our sound.
Good Lord! It is Suti procession. Those men in front, in the long robes, they are the priests. From the large number of musicians which follow, the dead man must be at least of the rank of prince. And now, just coming into view around that bend in the path, see, there, that huge cart, and that statue.
It is the statue of Mother Kali,
Good
the
heavens.
dreaded goddess.
The goddess of love and of death.
Oh, of death, perhaps, but of love. That ugly image. Her face is so twisted with hatred. Those 4 arms.
Yes, and in the hands of 2 of those arms, the image carries replicas of severed human heads, her victims and her worshippers. Worshippers so beloved by her that she must reward them with the supreme gift of her love, death. Kali is a goddess who has wallowed in the blood of humans ever since the mind of pagan man dreamed her into being. Her followers believe she is nurtured only by sacrifice. Usually those sacrifices nowadays are animal, but often still in this barbaric stretch of India, the sacrifice is human. Wait, look now. Those naked men whose bodies are painted in those wild colors.
But they're bleeding. They have cuts all over their bodies.
They are fakirs. The natives call them Kali Piara, the beloved of Kali. They are devotees of Kali who have worked themselves into a religious frenzy. They've cut their bodies out of love of their brutal goddess. Ah, now there! The litter bearing the body of the dead husband.
It is the body of the Prince of Bundelkhand. He was a wicked old man. And that woman walking behind the body, surrounded by the palace guards, that woman is Princess Aouda, his wife.
But she is so young, so beautiful.
And she will be the victim of Suti. Gopal, where will it happen?
There is a sacred valley called Pilajai, 2 miles from here.
That poor woman, to be burned alive.
Master, the Suti, it is not her wish.
How do you know, man?
Sahib, Everyone in Bundelkhand knows it is the doing of the priest. The Princess Aouda. She is young. She was educated in Calcutta. She is of the new ways. She was forced to marry the old prince, and when the prince died, she knew her fate. She tried to escape, but they cut her.
But she was not struggling in the procession.
No, Sahib. She has been drugged with the fumes of opium.
Sir Francis, we must save this woman.
Save her?
Yes, I still have 12 hours to spare.
But the danger. Fogg, you amaze me. Not only the danger, but a man with 20,000 pounds at stake stopping to attempt an all but hopeless task. You are a man of heart.
I am, sir, when I have the time. Gopal, let us go. Follow the procession as cautiously as you can to the valley of the Pillagei.
It is almost dawn, gentlemen.
The high priest is lighting the torch to ignite the funeral pyre. The Princess Aouda will die.
And we are helpless. Too many guards to get to her.
The priest lights the logs now. The pyre will soon be aflame.
We must save that girl. She's only 75 yards away.
But she's tied to that pyre, unconscious with drugs. And we never get past those guards and that crowd.
The smoke is getting thick so quickly.
Yes, perhaps in the smoke and confusion I could get down there, climb the pyre, and save her. I can't stand it.
Fogg, stop!
Get your hands off me.
Gopal, Passepartout, help me!
Grab him. Let me go.
Sahib, your servant, he has gone down there. What? He is running to the funeral pyre.
They'll get him.
No, Passepartout is getting through. The smoke blowing this way, screening him from the view of the crowd.
He is at the steps of the pyre.
God help him.
Sahib, he has reached the princess. He is untying her rope.
That heat! The flames are rising fast. Hurry, man, hurry!
But he has her free now, lifting her. God help you, Passepartout.
The guards still do not see him. He has reached the steps again.
The wind is still with him, still covering him. But he must be choking half to death in that horrible smoke.
He's made the edge of the jungle, still unseen. Quick, let's get to him. Passepartout! Here! We're coming!
Oh, please. The woman. Take her.
Here, shift her into my arms.
Oh, you're burned, man. Badly?
My right arm is burned the worst, but I'm all right. But the woman.
She's breathing unsteadily, but I don't think she's too badly poisoned by the smoke.
Sahibs, quick. The smoke is blowing the other way. The guards see the princess is gone. To the elephant. Quick.
Yes, they'll be after us searching the jungle.
Oh, one of the guards down there. I think he's heard us.
To the elephant, quick!
You and Passepartout rescued the princess.
Yes, Stuart, and thank God you see the princess herself sitting with you here in London, alive and well.
Dear Phileas, may I tell Mr. Stewart the next bit of our story?
With pleasure, my love.
We reached Allahabad safely, Mr. Stewart. Sir Francis advised that I must leave India. He warned that the fanatic priests of the late prince's court would hunt me down throughout India until they could seize me and take me back to be sacrificed. Immediately, my generous Mr. Fogg agreed to take me along to Hong Kong. I remembered an uncle who was a merchant there.
Our train leaves for Calcutta in 5 minutes. Gopal, you've served us well. I've already paid you for that service in money, but money cannot repay you for your courage in helping us rescue the Princess Aouda.
The guards were good, Sahib. We came through safely.
Gopal, what if you owned Tuone, this elephant? You could make a living with it, transporting things?
Oh, yes, Sahib. But it is worth 2,000 British pounds.
The elephant Tuone is yours. I give it to you, Gopal.
But, Sahib, you are giving me a fortune.
Take him, Gopal. Even then I shall still be in your debt.
May both my gods and the god you worship bless you, Sahib.
And here, Gopal, this diamond. I too am your debtor.
Oh, princess, Watchabat, Thank you.
Sir Francis, I wish you were coming with us. I've grown fond of your company.
Likewise, Fogg, I've grown fond of yours. All I can say is, I wish you luck. Incredible that you are still on your schedule.
Yes, but only by about a 2-hour margin by now. Oh, the train's ready to depart. Princess, Passepartout, we're off to Calcutta. Come.
Good luck, old man.
Thank you. Bye. Cheerio.
We reached Calcutta safely, Mr. Stewart, but priests of the court of Bundelkund were already on our trail.
Yes, darling. And it was Mr. Fix who almost delayed us long enough for them to catch us. Fix, you take over the story.
Yes, sir. Well, looking back now, Mr. Stewart, I almost was the cause of a tragedy. You see, I got to Calcutta before Fogg. I lodged a complaint about the incident in the temple in Bombay, and no sooner did Fogg's party reach Calcutta than they were arrested. Hauled up before a judge they were, and both Fogg and Passepartout were given a jail sentence. Then, Mr. Fogg got clever as well as, illegal.
Illegal?
Yes, Mr. Stewart. You see, Fogg had not had a lawyer, so he got the judge to grant him and Passepartout bail. And then they skipped the bail, shipped out on the next boat for Hong Kong.
It was illegal, Fix. But suppose we had stayed in Calcutta and the priests caught us. After all, in a way, we were kidnapping the Princess of Bundelkund, suitee or no suitee.
Well, once Her Majesty's government learns the circumstances, I think those bail-jumping charges will be dropped quickly.
I should hope so. But, Stuart, it wasn't long after we left Calcutta that the efficient Mr. Fix was on our trail again. He reached Hong Kong only 6 hours after us. Meanwhile, we had searched the city for Aouda's uncle, and finally we found out that the gentleman had moved 2 years before. There was nothing to do but take the princess on again. But it was in Hong Kong that we lost Passepartout.
Yes, Monsieur Stewart. We still did not know Monsieur Fix, you see. Seemingly by accident, I ran into him in a shop in Hong Kong. We struck up an acquaintance, and Monsieur Fix invited me to visit a cafe along the waterfront. Bon Dieu, that cafe was really an opium den. Monsieur, what place have you brought me to?
This is one of the notorious opium dens we travelers read about.
Those men on those carts over there, they look half dead.
They'd be better off if they were dead, poor beggars. They're opium addicts. Ah, here's the waiter. What will you have?
A glass of Pernod, please.
2 Pernods, waiter.
And sirs, we'll have a pint later?
Nah, just the drinks. Get them now. Chop, chop. Now, Mr. Passepartout, I want to talk to you about your master, Mr. Fogg.
You know his name?
Yes, I am Inspector Fix of Scotland Yard. I have trailed you and Fogg all the way from Suez. Your master is the man who robbed the Bank of England on September 30th last. Ash, the drinks. Thank you. Now, Passepartout, there is a £2,000 reward. It is yours if you help me.
Monsieur, you are mistaken. My master is a wealthy man, a gentleman. He is no thief. But even if he were, I love him so I would stick by him. I come from a village in France where we do not eat bread baked with an informer's reward.
All right, then. Drink your drink.
Yes, I shall. Oh, Monsieur Fix, you are very, very wrong about my master. He... Oh, I feel ill, dizzy.
Yes.
Oh.
With the waiter's help, I've drugged your drink. You'll pass out soon.
Oh.
I thought you'd help me, you fool, but you wouldn't. Now, at least, though, you won't be able to help Fogg. He must leave by boat in 2 hours, or he is stuck in Hong Kong for 2 days. Waiter, here, your money. Well done. just as I taught you. Now, keep him out for about at least 5 hours.
I do it, gentlemen. You're generous. I take care. Chop, chop. Yes.
Meanwhile, Stuart, Aouda and I were frantic. We let the ship depart and went to the police about Passepartout's disappearance. And here, Mr. Fix was very clever. He arrived at the station just after us. He did not allow it to be known that he was a detective. He posed as another traveler who had missed the same boat as we had, who was seeking advice from the police. The police suggested I go on, leaving money behind for Passepartout when he turned up.
You know what Mr. Fogg did next, Mr. Stewart? He rented a private steamer.
Yes, Stuart, and Mr. Fix was clever enough to worm his way into a friendship with the kind-hearted Princess Aouda. It was she who persuaded me to allow the supposedly stranded Mr. Fix to come along on my chartered boat. Well, another time, Stuart, I'll tell you of that leg of the journey. It's not quite as exciting as what's to come. You see, in the China Sea, our ship was hit by a typhoon, rough going for a while, but the ship was taken off course by the storm. We had to head for Shanghai instead of Yokohama for repairs. That delay played havoc with my schedule, but it accidentally reunited us with Passepartout.
Yes, Monsieur Stewart. After I revived in the opium den, I sought the police. I was given the money Monsieur Fogg had left behind. I had to wait 2 days for a boat to Yokohama. Our ship got through the tail end of the typhoon, and in Yokohama, I learned that Monsieur Fogg and the princess had not arrived on the original ship. But I reasoned they come to Yokohama to get a steamer to San Francisco. I watched the docks daily. 2 days later, they arrived in Japan, and I met them.
With Fix in their party. What did you do about that?
Well, for my master's sake, I kept silent. Monsieur Fogg was already behind schedule badly. Trouble with Monsieur Fix could delay him more. I reasoned that Monsieur Fix wanted Monsieur Fogg back in England, where he could arrest him, as badly as Monsieur Fogg wanted to reach England in the remainder of the 80 days. Secretly, he thought it was for the reward. I became a supposed ally of Monsieur Fix.
And you fooled him too, Passepartout. Well, Stuart, with more bribes to more sailors tending the stoking of a ship's boiler, our ship across the Pacific from Japan to America made record-breaking time. When we arrived in San Francisco, I had made up 3 of the 4 days I was behind. We caught the train for New York. Stuart, you should see the American West. Extraordinarily beautiful. But it is true what they say of those Indians.
Good Lord, not Indians, too?
Yes, Stuart. About 500 miles from San Francisco, I was playing cards with another passenger, a Western American named Colonel Proctor.
Sir, you have once again played the wrong card.
Sorry, Colonel, but I think not.
No, I think you did. You Englishmen never did play cards right.
I beg your pardon.
You sons of John Bull are all alike. Womanly as your queen. How dare you hit me?
You'll get another slap, sir, if you refer to my queen in that tone again. I am a visitor in your fair country, but...
Please, Phileas.
Oh, now, calm down, gentlemen.
Mr. Fix, this affair is mine and mine alone. Colonel Proctor, I think, has had a bit too much to drink. But, drunk or no, the Colonel will give me satisfaction for his remark.
A duel, Fogg?
Yes, sir, it's old-fashioned, but a duel, if you like.
Good, good. We stop next at Plum Creek.
Yes, but we stop only for 2 minutes. My plans do not allow me to delay an instant.
Just as I thought. Coward.
For that, sir, you must oblige me, but we will not stop. With the permission of the conductor, we shall duel here in this carriage while the train proceeds.
Wait, sir. Listen. Forget the duel, Fogg. Out there's an Indian attack. Snow out there. It's gonna make shooting hard, but maybe the attack will be light. Lady, there, you, princess. Get on the floor there.
Well, Proctor, you're actually sober again and polite to the lady.
You'd sober up, too, if you knew what those Indians can do. Pray that it's just a small band of them.
Your other pistol, sir. I, too, can shoot.
Smash out that window over there. Try to make each bullet count. Here they're riding alongside now.
Watch out, Mr.
There's another.
Now met coal coming. Look, the Indians have heard. They're retreating. Yeah, we're safe. And you, Fogg, you got at least 3 of those savages. My compliments, sir, and my apologies.
Accepted, Proctor, and thanks. Strange, isn't it, how much nicer it is when men fight alongside each other rather than against each other. Aouda, Passepartout, Fix, you all right?
Yes, I'm
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
Good,
sir.
good. Well, that wasn't too much of a delay. We might still be all right on that schedule. Would you care for more cards, Proctor?
My pleasure, Mr. Fogg.
Ah, Fogg, you pass these little gems off so lightly. Indians, a near lethal Western American gunfight.
Don't judge all Americans by the rash Colonel Proctor. He was really a good chap. Bad drinker, though. Well, Stuart, we arrived in New York an hour and 35 minutes late, and that was enough to lose us our ship. We were at the wharves, looking at the empty dock hopelessly, when I saw a French cargo vessel in the next slip. She had steam up. I boarded her, and I asked for the captain.
Aye, sir, may I help you?
Why, from your accent, you're a Scotsman.
Aye, sir, I am. From Glasgow. I'm Captain Andrew Speedy.
And I am Phileas Fogg of London. I thought the boat French.
French registry, sir.
You're bound for where?
Bordeaux, sir. If it's any of your business.
And your cargo?
No freight going in ballast.
You take passengers?
No, sir, never passengers. They get too much either way.
Your ship is swift.
The Henriette is famous for her transatlantic records.
Will you carry me and my 3 companions to Liverpool?
No, sir, no passengers.
Money is no object.
No passengers.
But would not your employers, the owners of the Henriette...
Aye, sir, I'm the owner. The vessel belongs to me.
I will freight it for you then, Captain.
No.
Well, I'll buy it in that case.
It is not for sale. And I wouldn't carry you to Liverpool if you paid even £200 per passenger.
And if I paid you 2,000 per passenger?
2,000 apiece?
Yes.
£8,000. You have a deal, Mr. Fogg. We start in an hour.
Thank you, Captain Speedy. Ahoa, Passepartout, Fix, it's done. Come aboard. We sail in an hour. We made fabulous time, Stuart, for 5 days. Then Speedy came to my cabin on the Henriette with the bad news.
Mr. Fogg, we can't keep this up. We're running low of coal.
Captain Speedy, we have an agreement.
Aye, Mr. Fogg. I'm to take you to Liverpool, but remember, you boarded a vessel supplied with fuel to get it only from New York to Bordeaux at normal speed, and you've been bribing my stokers in the boiler room. We've barely enough coal now to make port under normal steam. You bribed the stokers, and you had them keep the furnaces so hot that our coal supply is severely depleted.
You knew the speed we were making, Captain.
Aye, I did, but I did not realize how much the coal supply was suffering.
Where are we?
We're 770 miles from Liverpool.
That near, Captain. If you do not take your vessel on, and at the same speed, I shall be forced to set fire to her.
Set fire?
Yes, or buy her.
Buy her? The Henriette is worth 50,000 American dollars, sir.
Or 10,000 British pounds.
Aye.
I'll give you 60,000 American dollars for the ship. And when I say burn the ship, I mean only to burn her masts, her rails, her bunks, burn every wooden thing aboard except her hull for fuel.
Mr. Fogg, are you serious, man?
Captain, I'll make you this bargain. 60,000 American dollars for the usable wood on the Henriette to stoke the furnaces. Get me to Liverpool by the morning of December 20th, and the rest of the ship is yours again.
Aye, then I shall have the hull and the engines left. And 60,000 American dollars?
Yes, Captain. Agreed?
Agreed, Fogg. And you are a madman.
Mad or not, I have a wager I must win. Issue the orders for your men to start breaking up the furniture in the cabins.
Aye, I will. Men!
Stuart, you should have seen the Henriette as it sailed by the Irish coast toward Liverpool. It was nothing but a hulk. Masts gone, rails gone, furniture gone, but we still had that smokestack puffing steam, and we were making great headway. We landed safe in Liverpool, and then the good Mr. Fix started his shenanigans.
Mr. Fogg, we are on British soil. I am really Inspector Fix, Scotland Yard. You are under arrest for the robbery of the Bank of England on September 30th last.
Arrest?
I have gone round the world with you only for this. I am sorry, sir. I've ground to respect you. But you are under arrest.
Oh, Phileas, my dear.
It is all right, sir. The authorities will release you, but you must get to London soon as possible. Your wager.
No London, Mr. Fogg. You will be detained here. That policeman coming. I cabled ahead from New York. Here's my warrant for your arrest.
Inspector Fix, your wire arrived a week ago. The yard was puzzled. The thief was caught 9 days ago. There's no warrant for Mr. Fogg.
What? Another man was the thief?
I told you, Monsieur Fix, that my master...
Oh, I am sorry, Mr. Fogg.
Right, Fix. But you've placed me in a deuced bad situation. I'm now late for the Liverpool-London Express. There's nothing to do but hire a special train. And, Stuart, I hired that train, but still I thought that I had lost our bet. We arrived in London at 9:05 last night.
Last night? But Fogg,
Listen. We arrived in London, and I said... Well, my dear friends, irony has the day. We arrive in London, around the world, and in 80 days, but I am 5 minutes over time. It is 5 minutes past 9, December 21st.
I'm that sorry, Mr. Fogg.
The delays were my fault.
And mine, Phileas.
No. The fault was mine alone. Shall we go to my house? The next day, Stuart, the princess and I were preparing to dine. I had not even the heart to come and visit you as yet to pay you what I thought were your winnings.
Mr. Fogg, I'm afraid I have made you lose a small fortune. If you had not stopped in the Valley of Pillagite to help me...
The 20,000 pounds I've lost is small payment for your life, princess. But now you're like me, alone, no relatives, few friends.
Oh, dear Mr. Fogg, could I not be those relatives, those friends? I owe my life to you. Might I not spend that life with you?
Oh, no, it couldn't be. Aouda, you could not be in love with me.
With all my heart, Phileas.
Oh, my dearest one. A minister, we must have one. Passepartout, quickly.
Monsieur, you call?
And Fix still with you, eh? Well, Fix, you, ironically, shall be my best man. The princess and I will marry. Passepartout, go find a minister.
Immediately, sir.
Oh, Mr. Fogg, princess, my deepest congratulations.
And then it was I, Monsieur Stuart, who found that Monsieur Fogg still had won his wager. I went to a parsonage and knocked. The minister answered.
Yes?
Reverend, please, you must pardon me for disturbing you at 7 p.m., but I wish to arrange the marriage of my master tomorrow.
But, my dear man, I shall be busy tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday.
What? You are certain?
Yes.
Oh, sir, tomorrow is Sunday, not Monday?
But of course, today is Saturday, December the 21st.
The 21st? Not the 22nd? My master, I must get to him.
But wait, man, the wedding.
No, that can wait. My master, he has won.
But what?
He still has time.
But here,
Well, Aouda, Fix, whoever that is in a hurry. Come in.
Master, you still have time. It is only 20 to 9. You made a mistake of 1 day, sir. Today is not Sunday, but Saturday. It is still the 21st of December. Last night we arrived 24 hours early.
Are you mad, Passepartout?
No. The minister at the church told me, and I checked along the way. Here is a copy of the Times for today. It is Saturday, the 21st still.
Heavens, it is so. Quick, Vix, Aouda, Passepartout, a hansom cab. We must get to Stuart's house. We have 18 minutes. I think I have still won my wager.
And you arrived within 30 seconds of 9 o'clock itself. Extraordinary. But, Fogg, how did you miscalculate that you arrived here in London a day later than you thought?
Simple, Stuart, when I analyzed it. You see, Stuart, we were journeying constantly east in our trip around the world. Eastward takes one toward the sun. Therefore, the sun I saw each day diminished 4 minutes in time in each degree of the Earth's longitude we crossed. And there are 360 degrees going round the world. Multiply each degree by 4 minutes. You have exactly 24 hours, a day unconsciously gained. Our party going eastward saw the sun pass us 80 times, once each day for 80 days. But you, here in London, Stuart, saw it only 79 times in the same period. When last night we reached London, 80 days had passed for us, but only 79 for you. We had the gift of that day.
Incredible. And yet that is scientifically a fact, Fogg. So you actually made your journey around the world in 79 days, not 80 days.
Yes, but thank the Lord it was not 78 days.
78 days, Fogg? But why?
Remember, I spent 1 day in the valley of Pillagei. If I had not gone that way, if I had not been delayed by the railroad, the Princess Aouda would not have been saved, and thus she would not have been my bride.
Oh, Phileas, you're almost as much a poet in thought as you are a man in action.
I see I had best get at that money. The 10,000 for your wedding present from Fogg, Princess. And might I add 5,000 as my own gift?
Mr. Stuart...
Not a word, Your Highness. And it will be my pleasure to present another 5,000 to Monsieur Passepartout.
Oh, monsieur.
And as to you, Mr. Fix, no gift. But you will join me in more champagne?
Honored to, sir.
Good. And to you, my dear Mr. Fogg, my sincere congratulations on a fabulous adventure nobly achieved.
Thank you, Stuart.
Higgins, more champagne, and ice an extra bottle. Come, please, Princess, gentlemen, the living room. I want to hear more details of this extraordinary trip round the world in 80... Oh, sorry, Fogg, old boy. I mean 79 days.